Hey YouTube, it's just a quick update. I haven't made a video in a long time and I realized that I'd forgotten. So I thought I'd do another one really quick. They tend to go longer than I expect, but in case you're curious. The surgery, hiatal hernia repair and the TIF that I had done July of 21, still working fine. I have really no problems other than, overdoing it like a normal person, having something spicy or acidic, as I've mentioned in previous videos, that'll trigger anyone if you have it in excess. So, but I don't do a ton of that, but, I have mentioned before, I will have, tomatoes, something like pico de gallo, salsa, green chilies, pizza, you name it, with marinara, the red stuff, the tomato-y stuff, the acidic stuff, I'll have that. Not every day, but, I've always loved tomatoes, not by themselves, oddly enough, but, mixed with something. Like I said, pico de gallo, green chili, the base, at least the way I'm used to it being made, is largely tomatoes and green chili, of course. But I really don't have any problems with what I eat and what I have to do. So again, I made summary videos that talk about different things like diet specific, surgery specific, medication specific, stuff like that. If you're interested in that, you can go to those specifically and hear what I dealt with, and not much has changed. However, I started having cramps in my right side, right upper quadrant, right underneath the rib cage, that floating rib down there on the right side, gallbladder, liver area, and that was about a month ago. And it's been going on for a while, and if you've seen and watched the videos, you know that I've had pain and issues with my gallbladder and sludge. So it started to get progressively worse, and more cramping and more nausea started coming, and I'm like, this isn't my stomach. The repair, this is something else. I just could tell. So, and then the cramping on the right side just kept getting more intense, and the nausea was just more intensive. So, long story short, ultrasound, gallstones. They said don't do the Hiatal scan, which tests the gallbladder specifically. It can cause problems because you have because they identified the stones, and refer you to a surgeon. So we go to the surgeon. He says let's get it out. So I had my gallbladder out almost a week ago. Went through that surgery to get the gallbladder removed, so I'm still recovering. Not as bad as the hiatal hernia repair and the TIF, but I did have my gallbladder out. I'm still, again, kind of adjusting back to normal diets. I did have spaghetti late last week, and that was probably too soon to have it. The marinara again got to me, made me nauseous, but I didn't have any acid reflux symptoms other than the nausea. I didn't have any reflux types of symptoms. It was just the nausea. So I think it's just, again, my body adjusting to not having the gallbladder, at least fingers crossed. So I'm not really all that worried about it. I just know that that was probably the trigger that I can think of. And again, I think I had that on Thursday. I really didn't have, I had the surgery on Tuesday morning, ate a pretty bland diet, sort of, I had grilled chicken and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and turkey sandwiches and eggs and turkey bacon, lean stuff, not a ton of fat or anything like that, which is kind of my normal diet anyway. And then Thursday I was like, I feel really good, and I haven't had nausea, and I had spaghetti. So, because they said, depends, some people can have a hamburger the next day and other people can't. So I was one of those who can't, apparently, because the way we eat spaghetti is very lean. My wife uses extremely lean ground beef, and the noodles are plant-based, protein plant-based noodles, and it's a very healthy version of spaghetti, at least I think. The ground beef's not the healthiest, but at least it's a very lean red meat. And the sauces, just the generic brand that we get at the grocery store that she, adds other stuff, oregano and basil, whatever. So, but that was probably the only trigger. So, and I've had nausea here and there since, but I think it again is my body's just adapting to not having an organ inside of it. So I felt pretty good, very intermittent nausea lately, but I think again, it hasn't even been a week yet. So in terms of the diet, I haven't gone back into, having some fatty stuff, but I have had, candy. I'm unfortunately a big candy eater. So Snickers bars and what else? Dove, little bite-sized chocolates, Dove candy, Dove chocolate. Some of my favorites. And then sugary candy like Lifesavers gummies and stuff like that. So that I don't think has triggered me, other than it's just not healthy and not good for me, but it hasn't caused any nausea or anything like that. And again, no reflux. So you're here probably because of the hiatal hernia, but I've had other complications obviously with my gallbladder and stuff like that too. So in terms of the hiatal hernia repair and the TIF, I've had no problems. Again, as I mentioned back in previous videos, since I was started on a medication, December of 21, for me it was a magic pill, and it really has taken care of everything, and I haven't been off of it since, and I don't know that I will go off of it anytime soon. So, and I have other issues I had a concussion, and it's almost a year ago, and it's not gone away. So various medications that I'm on, I'm not going to mess with the recipe that seems to be working for my stomach reflux issues, and then now dealing with concussion, post-concussion syndrome stuff. So but yeah, you're here for the hernia stuff. There's nothing different. I haven't made a video. I don't really have much else to say other than, of course, now the gallbladder removal. But beyond that, again, it's a gallbladder problem, not a stomach problem. I haven't really had reflux. And before the hernia, my wife, even the night I had spaghetti, I woke up in the middle of the night and just had nausea, but again, it wasn't just persistent at night. It was the next day and things like that until it kind of got out of my system of sorts. And but that night, my wife woke up in the middle of the night to take a Tums. My wife woke up and took a Tum or Rolate or whatever it was, and I didn't. So I don't have reflux anymore. It's gone. If I overdo it again, I might take a Rolate, but I can't even tell you the last time I took one. And a couple weeks ago, again, before gallbladder surgery, we had green chili burrito, which I get mild because I don't want to, risk anything. If I could even tolerate a medium or a hot chili, it's just not worth the risk. But the salsa that they sell at this place can get pretty spicy, and it's very tomato based, and it's very I think there's probably some jalapeno juice or something, the juice from the peppers. I think it's jalapeno juice or whatever, the pickled, I would assume, but of course. But anyway, the salsa can get pretty spicy. It's not awful, but it's can get pretty spicy. And I don't have a problem. And again, I would eat that, and not in excess, but I'll indulge and have chips and salsa. It's one of my favorite things. One of the reasons I wanted surgery in the past, because I wanted to just have some chips and salsa once in a while, or pizza with marinara sauce. I just like the general pepperoni pizza with marinara sauce on it, the red stuff. And now I can. So that's all I wanted. And I don't need to have it every day, and I don't. I eat pretty healthy otherwise. So, but anyway, everything's very normal for me. So beyond the update again with the gallbladder and what's going on there, and not why you're here probably, but nothing's changed. Everything's very good in terms of the hiatal hernia repair and the TIF, the fund application. So people have asked questions about certain things, and the TIF, the hiatal hernia, and some other specific questions, which is fine. But as I mentioned many times before, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I'm just here to tell my story and hopefully help someone. And hopefully it helps. If it doesn't, again, there's probably other videos out there. I stopped looking at videos because, again, I've essentially been fixed, at least for now. And, will I have to do this again in the future? I have no idea. Do I really care right now? No, I'm going to live in the moment, in the present, and enjoy the time that I can eat pizza and tacos and spaghetti and pico de gallo and have green chili burritos. I'm going to I'm happy with it for right now. Absolutely. So if I, have to have something else done in the future, so be it. But for now, I'm happy, and I felt very normal. And again, my wife, who doesn't have a problem, has had to take Rolaids or Tums, and I have not. So whatever they did to me, combination of surgery and medication or whatever, it worked. So, and here I am, and I'm relatively normal, aside from, again, having a kind of a normal problem, having to have a gallbladder out, as well as having other neurological issues with my concussion. But other than that, in terms of diet, I feel good. So again, if I can answer questions, if you have them, let me know. But some of the questions, again, I don't know how to answer. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to make a recommendation for you specifically. I tell you what I did, and to always look elsewhere if you're not happy with the answer, and that's what I had to do, and try to find the best route for you. And if you can do it through diet and you're happy to do it through the diet, then great, good for you. And if not, again, I couldn't take it anymore, and I didn't even have to deal with it that long. It was only about a year or so for me, and I just couldn't take it. So I went to surgery, and I'm glad I did, and I've not looked back. So I couldn't have dealt with that for another 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 4 years, 10 years. And God bless you out there that have had to deal with this much longer than I do. I'm an impatient person, and it was also getting to me mentally, as you probably can gather if you're having this issue and you're watching this video, how much of a mental toll not being able to eat what you like, sometimes even within reason. You're like, that's not, shouldn't cause a problem, and it still does. And again, 24/7, non-stop, reflux types of issues, regardless of what your symptoms are. It's just a burden on your mind, and I couldn't do it anymore. So anxiety and depression and stuff like that were just awful. So get under control. For me, I couldn't do it other ways, and I had tried as hard as I possibly could, but I wasn't happy, and lost weight because and I'm a healthy eater for the most part. I'm not a clean bodybuilder type of dieter person, but I eat lean meats, and I don't eat very many red meats. I eat a lot of turkey and chicken and fish, and but it didn't matter. That kind of stuff just didn't, no matter what I did. And again, I wanted once in a while, when I have a cheat day, I wanted a piece of pizza, and I wanted to have pico de gallo on my, as silly as it may sound, I just love it, on chicken salad, and having the chicken cooked in a taco seasoning, fajitas or something like that. It just was for me. So it was hard. I couldn't deal with it anymore. So I decided to go with the surgery. So again, I've said before, I believe it's been a long time, but good luck to you out there if you're looking into surgery. And I can't answer specific questions about the procedure, the TIF, the Nissen, the links. I don't know about those, other than I didn't want the Nissen, and I didn't want the links. And I did my own research as best I possibly could. I'm not an expert. I looked into it, and I asked doctors, and one doctor was not very good. I didn't like him, and he was, you need to be on PPIs the rest of your life or have the links. You got to pick one. I'm like, no, I don't. And I kind of, said, F you, and no, I'm not going to do that. There are other options. You're just choosing not to tell me about these, because I had already done my research about it. I knew about the Nissen. I knew about the TIF, and he just wasn't telling me those were options. So I found the surgeon that would do the procedure, and said that I was a candidate, and I got it done. So, be diligent, look into what you're going to look into, ask your doctors, and ask another doctor, and hopefully you don't get a runaround. I did not. I asked for a different referral, got a referral to a different doctor, and it coincidentally was the doctor that did the TIF. So it worked out easily for me for the most part. But again, don't be afraid to ask questions. So, and again, I'll answer any questions as best I can about my journey and my story on this process, but I can't answer specific questions on what the procedure is, what's the best procedure for me or whatever. So, but I'm happy to help, and good luck on your journey.